Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Mistress of Dragons by Margaret Weis. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now, I was first introduced to Margaret Weis as an author. I was at the library, I was looking for a book. Some other kid was, I was much younger at the time. I think high school, maybe junior high, somewhere around there. I'd have to go and look when Dragonlance was published. Anyway, I was looking at books, and this other kid was like grabbed Dragons of Winter Night from the shelf and handed it to me and said, "You'll like this." So I read it. Yes, I ended up reading them out of order. But anyway, I enjoyed the book. I went on to read the Deathgate cycle, as well as a number of books in the Dragonlance universe, both by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weis, and by other authors. As far as the Dragonlance goes, the Deathgate cycle, that's just them. I also have read some of the Dark Sword books. Haven't really liked those, to be honest, but that's for another time. Now, with this book, it took me a long time to get through it. I just didn't like it. It seemed to have everything that I would have wanted in a book. And to be honest, to be fair, the writing, it's hard to characterize, because I want to say the writing was good, but at the same time the writing wasn't very good. It was like the descriptions, the pacing, that was fine, but there were parts that I just didn't like. Anyway, Mistress of Dragons, it opens in a land called Seth. Now, Seth is ruled over by a king and everything, but they also have a group of women who worship the Mistress of Dragons. And this Mistress of Dragons, in 300 years before the start of the book, she came to Seth and helped them get rid of the dragons that were plaguing the land. And now she is Mistress of Dragons is a hereditary title, and They say they live in a monastery, but a monastery is for monks, if I remember correctly. So this would be more of a nunnery, because it's for women. But nunnery sounds more like they're nuns. That they're not really nuns, but they're not monks either. Anyway, be that as it may, they live in this complex, and there's only women there. Only women are allowed to be priests. Only women are allowed to be guards, etc. And they are venerated by the land because they keep the land free from dragons. The main character, or one of the main characters, I should say, is Melisande. She's the high priestess to the Mistress of Dragons, and next in line for succession when she dies. And the mistress is old. She's ancient. She's not doing as well as she should. I shouldn't say that. What I should say is she's not doing well because she's so old. But there seems to be a hesitancy with this mistress to finally relinquish all the secrets of her office to her high priestess. Well, the priestess's job is to keep on the lookout for dragons that might be invading the land, and then get together and use the magic that was originally taught to them by the original Mistress of Dragons to drive the dragon away or kill it. So they, a dragon attacks, and they get together, they get rid of the dragon. Now, this is where we're introduced to more characters from outside of the kingdom of Seth. And this is where, in my opinion, the first mistake was made in this particular book. So the dragon goes back to the other dragons and reveals that he wasn't attacking at all. There was a rogue dragon 300 years ago that wouldn't follow the rest of the dragons. Basically, the dragons kind of meddled in human development over the years. And they used to eat humans and do all this other stuff, but now they don't anymore. They're kind of like, let's back off. Let's not do anything to the humans, because the humans, there are a lot more of them than there are of dragons. And the dragons are afraid that if the humans, banded together, that they could wipe out all the dragons. The dragons are bigger and people would die, but so would the dragons. And as I said, there are fewer dragons than there are people. So the dragons are kind of like, let's back off. Let's not give the humans reason to kill us. And this is where we meet... Sorry about that. This is where we meet Draconis. Draconis. Draconis is actually a dragon who has changed himself into human form so that he can walk among the humans basically as a spy for the dragons. He's not there to do anything nefarious. In fact, he's there to observe and to be helpful even to the humans, but benevolent, but always while keeping the fact secret that he is actually a dragon. They come up with a plan to have one of the dragons attack a nearby human kingdom. I shouldn't say a nearby human kingdom. What I should say is a human kingdom nearby the kingdom of Seth. And then the humans would then call for a dragon hunter, and Draconis would offer his services and thereby allow themselves to go to the kingdom of Seth under the guise of, hey, we need help with the dragon, and possibly they would be able to get in. Seth being a very anti-dragon kingdom and not very friendly to outsiders. So they have the dragon that are initially tried to enter the kingdom of Seth, had him go attack this other kingdom that was nearby to Seth. So he starts doing his thing, torching farms and devouring livestock, that kind of thing. Draconis comes in and says, hey, the Mistress of Dragons in the land of Seth supposedly can get rid of this dragon for you. So what we'll do is the king and I will go to Seth. We'll bring some trinkets and implore her on behalf of your kingdom to come and fight the dragon for you, or at least get rid of the dragon. To which the king agrees. King, married, has 2 sons, and they go off to parley with the Mistress of Dragons to see if they can get her help, and so that Draconis can figure out what's going on in the land of Seth. Now, along the way, they find out several things. One, they find out that there's a spy among the dragons because they're attacked by someone who's wielding dragon magic, a human who can wield dragon magic. And he is absolutely nuts. So they figure that something is going on here. And of course, the king knows that something's going on with Draconis because he is enigmatic and he doesn't tell the king everything that the king feels that he should know, because he's trying to keep secret the fact that he actually is a dragon. Now, this particular book has all the makings of a book that I feel that I should like. But the characters to me felt flat. That there was not much depth to them. On top of that, as I said, to me the first mistake was made when the dragons were introduced too soon. I feel that if the dragons were introduced a bit later, then, I mean, maybe you've picked up on what I'm trying to avoid saying, because I don't want to spoil the ending of the book for you. And in fact, what I've said can't really spoil the ending. Not all of it, anyway. I've been trying to allude to something that happens in the book, and maybe you've already figured it out. I don't want to say it, but I feel that because they introduced the dragons too soon, it didn't necessarily foreshadow what was to come. It revealed it too soon. And so because of that, like I said, the characters, the land and the story in itself are not necessarily the problems, but the execution of the story beats and the characters themselves seem flat. Not enough depth to them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody else has read this and absolutely loved it and thought that the characters were great. Me, I started this book back in October and I finished it last night. So it's now it's now January. So they're just, to me, as I started reading it, it just didn't really hold my attention. It was like, I got to finish this one day so that I can move on to something better. And I have moved on to something better, and it is tons better. Tons better. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know if you've read this book, what you thought of it. Like, subscribe, put the bell on so you get notified when I release new videos, and enjoy what you're reading.